Hello, this is over and over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. We're live. That was West Ham versus Arsenal, and this is the Fan Cam reaction show. Hello, my name's Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again. It finished obviously at London Stadium. I'm sure you've seen West Ham United 3, Arsenal 3, an incredible game. Had pretty much everything, didn't it? Just amazing, really. This is going to be the Fan Cam reaction show. I've got some guys coming on to give their views on what was, I say, a quite unbelievable football, the like of which we don't see very often. Certainly as Arsenal fans, it's not what we normally get from our games, is it? So it was unbelievable stuff. I will be bringing some guests in just the other side of this. And the first guest, as he has been the last couple of games, actually always a pleasure to have you on. It's Albert, of course, from Albert JTV. What did you make of all that? I mean, I'm still not recovered yet, have you?
I was going to go for a walk, but then I realised I had to come up for a fan cam.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Rich. I don't even... You know what I would say? I can't even say if it's a game of two halves, you know, because it's a game of a half and 15 minutes. That's what I'd say, because after 37, the first 37 minutes of that game, I think Arsenal was still at the Emirates. Because I don't know. Yeah, it's very... West Ham came out the traps, and even like when I was asked about score predictions before the game, I said I went for 1-1 actually. Funny enough, believe it or not.
Wow.
People were just kind of not writing off West Ham. Rich, they've had a good season, mate. People seem to forget that.
Yeah.
And they gave us more than a good game at the Emirates, which I think we was very lucky to win, by the way. So I think we had three changes, Rich, from the last start 11 in the Premier League, if I'm right.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was wait, we didn't wake up. Like we like a light switch. We was off. We wasn't on. The first goal we conceded, I mean, to be fair to West Ham, it was a good build-up play between, I think it was Antonio and Ben Rama on our right-hand side, and then obviously Lingard does it again, man. Even in a different shirt, he still scores against us. But yeah, good finish.
It was a good finish.
Yeah. And then let me get started on the second goal. Right now, with that, I had to watch it again because I know what I saw the first time, but I needed the confirmation with my own eyes, Rich. As they said in the commentary, and anybody that's played any decent level of football, you're taught as a child, taught as a kid. You give away a free kick in a dangerous area of the pitch against you. You got 3 or 4 players, mate, standing there, not stepping on the ball, standing over the ball. Saka's arguing with the ref. You've got Tierney, Partey, and Xhaka not concentrating. They take the quick free kick, and then even that with the goal, Leno's got to save that, man. I mean, that was a big ricket. And then, you know, we're 2 down within the first 20 minutes, and we're still not out the traps. And then they get the third goal just after half an hour, mate. With David Luiz gets out. I know. People will say we played the ball out from the back with Leno to Tierney. I understand that, but there's still quite a few phases of play before they got to that chance to score the goal. But Antonio out jumps Luiz, and then I don't know whether Leno was flat-footed or he was stuck on his line or he had super glue in his feet, Rich. I don't know, but I just thought it went in too easily.
It did, yeah.
So yeah, mate, 3 down after half an hour, man. It weren't looking good, mate.
No, it certainly wasn't. There's been a comment there from Toombarmy Repasy. Would you change your manager? Would you like to see take the club forward? Well, I think at the moment, you know, there's no need to change the manager, is there, necessarily? We need a few new players in the team. We need to cut out those silly mistakes. But I thought after that point when it was 3-0 down,
Yeah.
the response that we produced was actually, I was impressed with that actually from the players, and also what Arteta did at half time as well, because from that point onwards, pretty much 35 minutes on, we dominated that game. And actually, I thought we had enough chances to have won it. I know it sounds strange being 3-0 down. I'm almost a little bit frustrated that we didn't win, because we had 3 or 4 clear-cut opportunities as well as the goals, didn't we?
Yeah, we know what, Rich. To be fair, mate, as a whether you're a neutral, you don't support either club. It was a brilliant game to watch, man. And I haven't said that about many Arsenal games this season, to be honest with you. But you're right, Rich. After what can you do after 3-0 down after half an hour? So you've got to sort of throw the dice a little bit and try and get a goal before half time. But I actually thought I thought Ødegaard actually had a good first half, despite the sort of the being 3-0 down after half an hour. But I thought it was a good team goal actually, with Cafu, Chambers at right back for Arsenal. We'll come on to them a bit more, but I know it's a shame it goes down as an own goal though. But what can you do? Great stuff for Lacazette, and then we get the goal to go and at least 3-1 down. I thought we could have got it back to 3-2, but 3-1 down at half time. But we've got something to sort of go on.
Yeah, we had a bit of momentum, didn't we, going into half time? In fact, I was saying on the watch along that almost like we didn't really want half time to come because we just got on top. We had a couple of chances to get the second goal. I mean, Saka should have maybe scored the first one.
He should have.
Not a great finish, a bit too close to the keeper. The second one, he was a bit unfortunate, maybe hit the defender, could have gone anywhere and ended up going out for a corner. But I didn't really want half time to come, and I'm thinking, are we going to lose that momentum now that we'd built up in that closing stage of the first half? But we didn't, did we? We came out the second half. I don't know what Arteta said to him, but if only we'd started the game like that in the first place, we would have won 3 or 4-0, wouldn't we? Because we absolutely dominated them.
Yeah, Rich, you touched on Arteta. I actually don't think he would have to say much, to be honest, because I know we played on Thursday, but I mean, come on, like we was at home and in the second leg against Olympiacos, and last time I checked, mate, it's not far to go from North London to East London. There's no planes involved, man. So the second half actually again carried on from the back end of the first half. Dominant possession, mate. Saka looked dangerous for a few runs in the second half. Ødegaard looked even more dangerous. Chambers was giving us something from the right hand side as well as Tierney from the opposite side. And then we obviously great cross from Chambers. We get the goal, mate, to get it back to 3-2. They had one golden chance to kill it off West Ham to go 4-2 with and Antonio with Ben Rama doing good work down our left hand side. But I mean, what a game, man. I mean, and you know what? When we make the subs, Rich, right? And to be honest, I think Carragher took the words out of my mouth watching it. He said, I would have took Aubameyang off a lot sooner. I think even though we dominated possession, for me, he was still anonymous.
Yeah, he was.
I don't think he offered us anything. I thought Laka played well today. I thought he deserved his goal as well, to be fair. Came short, looked dangerous when we got into the box. ESR come on. Martinelli got some game time. And obviously Pepe come on for Saka. And mate, to be fair, Pepe, what a cross to dig that out of.
It was.
Oh, it's a brilliant cross. And then obviously Lacazette gets his well-deserved goal. 3-3, and I'm thinking, you know what? Come on, let's try and get this winner. It's possible.
Yeah.
We got into so many dangerous positions, Rich, mate. Shout out to Ødegaard and Lacazette. I thought they was very, very good today. But yeah, mate. I mean, what a game! What a game! What a game!
Yeah, it was. I say it had everything pretty much, didn't it? Shane here in the chat. Good to see you back again, Shane. A lot of positives, a lot of negatives, but same old story. Slow starts, mistakes, not taking their chances. Yeah. Leno should have saved the second goal. Yeah, he should have done it. Poor goal that to let in for a goalkeeper in it at the near post, beaten like that. I just think we were caught out all round, wasn't we? We was asleep at the free kick. Mari wasn't paying attention. But Leno should still have saved it because he was there. He just went straight under his arms, didn't he? And Joe. Interesting game in the end. It was interesting. It definitely was interesting. And I suppose at the end of the day, we've got a point out of it. And we'd have took that after the first half an hour easily. But I still feel frustrated because we had the chances to have won, and that's what's annoyed me about it a little bit. Because if we could have won that game, we're within 4 points of West Ham, and suddenly the league table's closed right up. And I think it's a missed opportunity, because if we'd only started a little bit better, we would have won that game, wouldn't we? Quite comfortably, I think.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, there's many games you could use as a reference point to say, oh, that's been typical Arsenal this season.
Yeah.
I think that was today, but I actually thought we came back. I mean, in the cold, hard light of day, right, we 3-0 down away to West Ham in the London derby. So to get it back to that, to get the point, like I said, I went for a point before the game. I just thought you can't take West Ham lightly. And that game was almost like a carbon copy when West Ham played Manchester United earlier this season at their ground, and they should have been out of sight in that first half, and they didn't put United to bed, and United came back and won. But yeah, mate, I thought man of the match. I think it'd be easier to give it to Ødegaard or Lacazette played well, but for me, 100% Callum Chambers, 100%.
He did well, and I think more for Callum Chambers in a sense because he was a little bit of a controversial inclusion, wasn't he? Because you think, why didn't Cedric play? Because he'd been playing well lately at right back. I know Callum Chambers did well at Burnley, but I was surprised to see him in the starting lineup. Was you?
I was surprised, mate. I didn't listen. I keep acting like I'm surprised when Arteta picks an 11, but I was surprised to see Chambers start. But I think they were saying kind of in commentary, Rich, because West Ham are quite decent in terms of height and set pieces. That's why they brought Chambers in. I don't think if any Arsenal fan was honest, and this is what I'll say. What I'll say, Rich, about Callum Chambers, right? You see, we obviously, Hector Bellerin is hot topic of conversation most times when he plays, right? And people say, oh, but he's had an ACL. I'm thinking, but Callum Chambers had the same ACL, but he still crossed the ball better in one game than Bellerin's done the entire season this season. Yeah, so what's the argument there? But gave us something other than just defensive qualities. Attacking like Carragher said, Cafu Chambers, man.
No, he was brilliant today. He was, and I say some of them deliveries into the box were fantastic as well. I mean, 2 of the goals came from his crosses initially, and he was always involved, wasn't he? Going forward, he put a lot of good balls in. Actually, that West Ham dealt with some of them and not with others. And he was maybe the driving force down that right side of the pitch, and it was good to see right back get good balls in, as you said, because we've been lacking that this season. I know Cedric's maybe put a few in when he's played, but he was a controversial inclusion, but it was justified. Again, he's played well, and you say you're giving him man of the match, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few people do actually, because he was vital. He was a vital cog, wasn't he, in that comeback? Them first 2 goals were from his crosses that got us back into it. So it was. He did have a good game. I actually liked the way Ødegaard played. I thought he was driving us forward constantly, wasn't he, in that second half, just driving us on. He could have scored as well, couldn't he? Had that effort that was blocked, that was going in. That could have won us the game as well, and it was frustrating a little bit. But I mean, overall, then, in terms of the league now, where do you think this point leaves us? Because it hasn't really done us any favours, has it? I know it's better than losing, but it hasn't really helped us climb back into the reckoning for the top 6, has it?
No, because I think you said we was 7 points behind West Ham. They was 5th before the start of today, and we was in 10th, so that would have drawn us a bit closer. To be honest, a point is better than no points, but in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't really done us anything in terms of being positive going up the league. But that's what happens when you start a game slowly, like Shane said in the chat. We keep doing it, and this is the business end of the season, Rich, mate. So I don't know. Are these guys going to get it? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we're just going to have to sort of ride it out and be accustomed to this type of performance.
Yeah, no, I think so, because it has been pretty much standard, as as you said, Shane, you said in the chat there, it has been too many times this season. We're making too many mistakes at the back, conceding silly goals, and then we're not taking our chances at the other end when we're creating them, which is frustrating because in a lot of games we've probably played well enough to win a lot of games we haven't won. Today being an example of that overall, and we are probably going to now miss out on the top 6, very likely to, and that's the reason, isn't it? No other reason, not because we haven't, we've not played well enough to win the games, because a lot of games we've done enough in the games to win, but we're being punished for the stupid mistakes at both ends of the pitch, unfortunately. And today encapsulated that, as you said, perfectly, didn't it? Giving away soft goals, missing chances at the other end. And yes, we've come back from 3-0 down, and that's great. But I think I still feel it's a missed opportunity to have
Yeah.
got that win today against a West Ham team that looked to have tired massively in the second half, didn't they? Really, really badly.
Yeah, and like I said, we had a game on Thursday, but
yeah,
you're right, Rich. It is. I think it's not being disrespectful to West Ham because I think they've had a good season, but I think from the way how horribly we started that game, and then obviously finishing the way we did, and there were other sort of half opportunities, chances to get that fourth goal or to get us back to 3-3 a bit sooner. So yeah, it's bittersweet, man. This team just keeps driving us mad with their performances. I just don't know, man. It's mad. I mean, I enjoyed today as a spectacle, as a game of football, but mate, it's mad. It's crazy the way we play this season, mate. Just don't get it. I mean, look at the second half against Olympiacos and the second half or 65 minutes for today. It's completely chalk and cheese, mate. But the same common denominator is we started poorly.
Yeah, exactly. We did. Lucas in the chat there says Arteta out, Chambers needs to go. I'm not sure that's. I agree with that after today, particularly. How can people be happy with a point? Yeah, it's frustrating. I agree. Arteta out. I don't trust the process. We didn't lose. And he says he loves both our channels. Well, thanks for that, Luca. I don't really agree with you about Arteta or Chambers today. Arteta, he's still, I'm a little bit on the fence still with him, I've got to be honest. He also says, Luca there, Lacazette man of the match. Can't really argue with that either. As you said, Albert, he had a great game, didn't he? Got his goal that he deserved and played a big part in the first goal as well. So he's certainly in the running for man of the match as well. Just before you go now.
To that point about... I don't think you'll find any Arsenal fan in the universe who's happy with a point. No. You know, but I mean, do we get upset? Do we lose a game and then get upset that we didn't get any points, or do we get upset that we got a point from here? You know what I mean, Rich? You can't. You have to balance it up. You can't just be.
No. I mean, for me, it's a strange feeling because that 3-0 down, you take a point all day long and you'll be relieved to get one. But in the context of the game. We did enough to win. I thought we had enough chances to have won, so there's a little bit of frustration. But I'm not happy with a point. I'm frustrated with a point. But it could have been, and it was looking a lot worse than that, wasn't it? It looking like it could have been 5 or 6-0 defeat at one point. So I guess overall, a point's probably okay in the scheme of that game. How things went overall, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, just before you go now, but just give your channel a plug as well, because as Lucas said there, you are doing some great stuff as well.
Cheers, man. No, much appreciated. Albert JTV, I'm doing a match review at 9 p.m. That's quite late for me, even, to be honest with you. But it's because I've got work tomorrow, so I need to get it out of the way tonight, to be honest. Got a few good guests coming on. Still to confirm, hopefully. But yeah, live stream tonight at 9 p.m. And yeah, Albert JTV at AUMO57 is the Twitter handle. So don't even think about it. Just come and subscribe, people. Subscribe to Richard channel as well. Smash the likes.
Yeah, no, definitely subscribe to our channel. So if you can, watch that at 9 o'clock as well, the match review. So that'll be good. It usually is when you look back on stuff with the guests and stuff. It's always good show. So definitely tune into that. I say subscribe to Albert's channel as well. And I say thanks for that, Albert. Obviously, there's an international break coming up, so there's not a game next week, but I'm sure we'll do something at some point.
I don't know what, but something.
Yeah, something definitely. Yeah, there'll be something on the cards soon. But anyway, thanks for coming on again, Albert. We'll speak again soon, mate. Yeah.
Cheers, Rich, mate. Take care, mate.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Right.
Speak to you soon. And following on from Albert, we've got Dave from the Out and Out Gunners podcast. How you doing, Dave? You all right? Did you enjoy that game?
The last hour I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I enjoyed the first 30 minutes, but look, I suppose we look at it. We're on the positive channel, so we'll have to look at the positive side of it. So, I suppose all in all, it is a good point. Obviously, we wanted to win, but I suppose we'll take the point and move on. You know, it's an international break now. A lot of our players don't really go with international teams. So look, it's a chance to get back onto the training ground and work a few things out and see what went wrong today. You know.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we've obviously started the game really, really poorly, and again we conceded some soft goals, didn't we? Really, really poor goals again, and unfortunately, in Premier League, especially when you're playing some of the better teams as West Ham are, you get punished, don't you? And we need. I mean, why do you think that's happening every single game virtually now? We're giving away at least one soft goal, aren't we? Every single game. I mean, why are we doing this?
Always, Rich. It's like what's happening in the dressing room. Like, is Arteta's team talks not rallying them up? Is there no one getting under each other, lighting fires, and saying, "Come on, lads, we need to hit the ground running." But I suppose that there was a stat at the same time, Rich. We've scored the fewest goals in the last 15 minutes as well. So we're only playing well between nearly minutes 30 to minutes 60 or 75, so we can't, if we start poorly, at least finish strongly, but we don't seem to be doing either, to be honest, at the minute. But maybe it's just a team talk thing, I suppose. That's the only thing. Are they ready for the game? Is it the warm-ups? Look, is the warm-up good enough? I know it is a little bit far-fetched, but you kind of have to start looking at the things, and you have to kind of reassess what's going wrong and start kind of looking, are we doing something wrong here? But I suppose the goals we give away are so cheap. You can't give teams in the Premier League, you can't decide to turn on after 30 minutes and expect to win the game. The second goal was soft, so you have to be switched on from a free kick. Now, I did think the referee was talking to a player, so it kind of threw the players off. But still, look, you're taught that at the start. You need to. The first goal, Lingard's goal. Yeah, look, Chambers kind of got pulled out of position, and look, it was a good finish. Another time he could smash that over the bar as well, So with that as well, I wouldn't have too much. The third goal, yeah, I suppose we were losing kind of every high ball in the box, and then that's what happens. Look, it looked like it was off. Everyone thought it was off. Antonio, Souček, they all thought it was off, and then it's on. I suppose that's the good side of VAR, but for the first 30 minutes, we weren't getting a body in there. There was no tackles going in. Lingard was running around with the freedom of London Stadium. He looked like he was Messi, but it's Lingard. Like, get close. No, he wouldn't. He's an okay player, but if you're going to give a Premier League player space and time to play the ball, they're going to punish you eventually. I suppose looking on after the 30 minutes, then we seen a proper number 10's performance from Odegaard. He's a lone player from Real Madrid. He kind of took the game as, Leicester got one up. But no, looking at it from Odegaard's, he was the one that kind of pulled the game by the scruff of the neck, He lifted everyone around him. He showed a captain's mentality, Rich, and I was kind of looking at him getting Norway's captaincy and thinking, is he a little bit young, But he showed today that he has the leadership, Lacazette up front. Lacazette played for the badge. He looked like he wanted it. Aubameyang was the polar opposite, to be honest. If you look at Lacazette and look at Aubameyang, that's literally the opposite. I don't know, was Saka fully fit? No, he did. He had the chance in the first half, but he didn't look the normal Saka. Midfield look was okay. I think after the 30 minutes, I suppose they picked it up as well. Then we'll kind of pin West Ham in. They done us a favour, Rich, I thought, by actually dropping off and sitting off. It actually allowed us to get a foothold in the game, So if they kept coming at us, every time they attacked for the first half an hour, I was like, oh no, we're going to concede. I think it was part of them sitting off, and we kind of said, look, lads, we have to start playing now. And then we had 3 or 4 players that got it by the scruff of the neck, and look, we got out with a point, and then, as I say, we can reassess it now and move on, because we have another big game straight after the international break.
Yeah, well, we've got 2, because it's Liverpool and then it's the Europa League again, isn't it? So, obviously, saying in the chat there says, where we are now, 3 points would still have kept us 10th. Yeah, it would have done, but at least it would have closed that gap on the teams above us, wouldn't it, a little bit more? And it was a frustrating performance. Yeah, it was a frustrating performance. And Paul as well in the chat there, evening Jets. How you doing, Paul? Thanks for watching. No, I agree. At the end, I actually feel frustrated because we had enough chances to win that game, didn't we? Actually, and I know we were 3-0 down, and it seems unlikely to say that, but overall, we should have won, shouldn't we? Really, when you look at the chances that we had, yes, they missed an open goal, but the chances we had in that game, unbelievable, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it could have been 5-5, I suppose. I know it was 3-3. It could have been 5-5. Saka had a great chance at 3-1. That would have been 3-2. Lacazette had the one cleared off the line. Odegaard had the one that was blocked. Look, it was a good block by Cresswell. That could go in. Pepe had 1 or 2 at the end. I suppose if he took a little bit more care over it, he might have might have scored. Look, yeah, so there was chances there. That's the one thing I will take. I am kind of looking at Rich from, we'll say, the new year compared to where we were pre-New Year. We're creating a lot of chances. Do you remember kind of back to, we were kind of looking, we were losing games, and even games we were winning, we were kind of looking at, we're not creating anything.
Yeah,
but I suppose. Look, I know we can be frustrated, and we're kind of looking at it, going, look, it is a good point, but there is reason to be frustrated. But I suppose another positive thing is we are actually creating chances. We say, like, the defence, what he went with today, I can see why he started Chambers. Look, we were going to just combat him aerially, but Chambers has actually turned out that he was better going forward than what it was defensively. Murray came in. Murray didn't have a good game. Murray and Louise. It's kind of, I can't remember them really playing before. They haven't played together a whole pile. But I think, Rich, with your centre half, if you look at Man City, you look at Man United, you look at Liverpool. I know, look, Van Dijk is injured, but the one thing you see in their defence is Maguire starts every game. Ruben Diaz is starting every game, and Van Dijk, look, he always does usually start every game when he's fit.
Yeah.
That we need, that's what Gabriel should be doing. It should be a partner with Gabriel, not married partner and Louise, or Louise with Holding, or Murray with Holding, or Gabriel needs to be the constant, and then put your other centre halves with him. He's our best centre half. He bullied Harry Kane last week, and he doesn't start today against another physical striker, So I think what Gabriel needs to be the constant. I'm okay with Chambers starting right back. Tierney was always going to start left back. Partey, look, I think he was hobbling near the end as well. So, but look, I think he rejected a call to Ghana, so at least he'll be able to recharge the batteries as well. The little bit of time off might suit him as well. I was hoping Saka might pull out from England as well, but I suppose looking at the table, look, I understand where Shane's coming from with regards to leaving us 10th, but look, if we're finishing outside the top 6, I don't really care where we finish, Rich, to be honest. It's all the same.
No,
it's all the same. Look, you could say, you could say you can finish 10th or whatever, but look, it's all the same. If you're not in the top 6, where else? You're not getting Europe. So look, what difference is finishing 14 to finishing 8? There's nothing really, but it's all on the Europa League.
Yeah, no, I agree to a certain extent. I just think, we finished 8th last season, and I think there needs to be some sort of progress. This has been the first full season that Arteta's had. Last year he came in halfway through, so the final finishing position wasn't really down to him. Whereas this season, that where we finish in the Premier League is 100% Arteta, because he's been in charge the whole season. And yes, I know there's been issues this season with no proper pre-season and a congested fixture list and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, he's going to be judged on that, isn't he? And if we finish lower than 8th, and if we don't win the Europa League, then that would have to be considered to be a backward step from last season, wouldn't it? I suppose. And in that sense, I think where we finish it's not going to make any difference, because we won't be in Europe if we finish 8th or 7th. Probably will we? Or we might get in that conference competition, whatever it is. But I don't know. I want us to finish in the top 6, of course I do, and it would be great if we do. But yeah, in the overall scheme of things, it probably doesn't matter too much. It's just looking at the progress under Arteta. I think that's what's going to be looked at, isn't it? And if we don't win the Europa League, and we've got a decent draw, let's be right. But we've got a lot to do in that competition. And if we don't stop conceding these silly goals, we did it the other night as well. We lost at home to a pretty average team.
Yeah,
we're not going to win it, are we? So, I do think every game's important. And I just felt today was an opportunity to have won that game, even when we were 3-0 down. I know it didn't look like it, but from that point onwards, we dominated that game, didn't we? For sort of 50, 60 minutes or so at least, didn't we?
Yeah, look, we were kind of looking at it, so we were set up to try and stop what West Ham were doing. And look, we had a little bit with Emery before as well. We were setting up at 5 at the back and 2 holding midfielders. When we actually, we kind of just said, right, look, we have to go for this game. And then when we did go for the game, we created chances. But we see that too often as well. You see it with Burnley when we drew 1-1. We kind of tipped away, Burnley were level, and then we were like, oh, right, we've actually to go for this game now with the last 10, 15 minutes. We actually had a go, and we created a load of chances. It was the same with Everton. We were 2-1 down. We had a go the last 5 minutes. We created chances. So it's a mentality thing. You have to be ready to go from when that whistle starts. But I suppose, look, if we keep everyone fit and keep them ready for the Europa League, that's what it's all about. You know, I get your side of it as well, that we need to see some form of a progress onto what happened last season. Look, do you think, Rich, if we were to just say we finished 9th and we got to the semi-final of the Europa League, would you see that as progress, or would you say, no, we're actually going to step back? Where would your thoughts be with that?
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, is the semi-final enough in the Europa League, you know, with the way that the draws work? So, I mean, I do think we've improved our performances. We're creating a lot more chances now than we were. As you said, you know, since the turn of the year, we're now looking a lot more dangerous going forward. We're creating more. We're still missing too many chances. We're still making silly mistakes. And in that sense, we haven't progressed. There's signs there that things are moving in the right direction, and the players now, you know, players like Smith Rowe are getting a lot more game time, which has been an improvement to the team. Obviously, Ødegaard coming in's made a difference as well, because he's a quality player, isn't he? Without a shadow of a doubt, he's got absolutely class. And I mean, I think there has been progress this season, but ultimately you are judged on where you finish. And last season we won a trophy. Yes, it was the FA Cup. This season we're still in with a chance of winning a trophy, and let's hope that continues certainly for a bit longer. But we did finish a disappointing 8th last season, and I do feel as though we need to have at least shown signs that we've improved on that. And I'd like to see us finish. If we're not going to finish in the top 6, then finish 7th. Because at least that's higher than last year, isn't it? And yes, overall, it might not make any difference in terms of us being in Europe or not, but at least it's progress. And I think that will keep people, maybe all these people that are maybe still unsure about Arteta, including me. I'm not 100% convinced by him yet long term, but I can see that the signs of progress that's been made. But we'll have to see. I mean, I'm hoping that we can go further in the semi-final now with a draw. Do you not feel that now with the way the draws works out? We've got a great chance to get to the final, haven't we? If we play like you said, keep everyone fit, cut out the silly mistakes, I think we've got a chance to get to the final now, haven't we?
We do, Rich. Look, no, I'm saying the semi-final kind of hypothetically. I believe we can go on and win it. You know, it's going to be us and Man United in the final if once we do our job, because I think they'll do theirs. But look, I do think we can go on and win it. There's no reason why not. The performances do need to get better, though. We can't. I said it even on the other night with you, we can't keep kind of getting through and thinking, if this was a better team, we'd be gone tonight, you know, because eventually you do get found out and you are gone. But no, there is no reason why we can't win it. What I would say on the Arteta thing is you can see what he wants to do. I think his players, it seems to be his players that are the ones that are playing well and playing better than the others. You look at today with Ødegaard, you can see what part he is. Gabriel now has become our best defender. Smith Rowe has come in. Look, I know he's not necessarily his player, but he has him in there now and he's playing. And there was talk of, he fell on Smith Rowe starting. He didn't. Smith Rowe was injured till the end of November. He hadn't any pre-season. He came in, he started playing in the Europa League, then he started in the Carabao Cup game against Man City, and then he came in and played the game against Chelsea. So he didn't fall on Smith Rowe. He knew what Smith Rowe, he was looking at him, he knew what Smith Rowe can do. He knows we knew what Smith Rowe can do. Smith Rowe has come in. I just spend the money and buy Ødegaard. Today has convinced me. I said it on the channel last week before the Spurs game. I was like, look, he needs more in product. He needs to score goals, make assists. But no, today, on the last 3 showings, I'd spend the money. Buy him now. Don't wait till the summer. Tell Madrid we want to sign him now. Go and get it done. I just looking at Aubameyang today, Rich, I'd sell him in the summer. I can't keep looking at your club captain not interested, not doing anything. He looked like a player that's just not good enough, which we know he is. And that's the hard part about it. But I'd sell him in the summer. I think his race is ran now with us. Thanks for the FA Cup. We're thankful for that, but that doesn't buy you 6 months either. You know, you can't keep turning in the performance he is. I don't know what his best position is anymore. He didn't work out in the left today. I don't think he necessarily works up front. If we got a decent offer for him, I think I'd take it in the summer. Lacazette, He's kind of changing my mind, Rich. I was kind of at the start of the season. I was like, look, his contract is kind of slowly running down. Do we cash in? But he's well. He works well with the youngsters. Smith Rowe said about him again. He's a good influence in the dressing room. And he came up. He scored. Look, the first one was was an own goal, but he got the second one. So he's kind of, when the going gets tough, he's stepping up. So we're kind of asking for players for mentality, and we're going, where's the mentality? Where's the leaders? But Lacazette seems to be one of them. So I wouldn't be too quick to get rid of it. If he's good with the youngsters as well. But if going forward, I want to see Smith Rowe, I want to see Odegaard, I want to see Saka, I want to see Lacazette, Partey, and look, Granit Xhaka is the second best midfielder. I want to see Gabriel playing every game. I want to see the partner with him. I want to see Cedric right full. I think he's probably our best full. Look, that was a fair statement today with Bellerin not being in the squad at all. Usually he's on the bench. That's a statement to say, look, your third choice right back at the club at the minute. Look, we know what Tierney is as well. So you need to, if you keep the kind of the nucleus of the team that played against Spurs last Sunday, you won't be going too far wrong in the Europa League.
No, I agree. I agree. And Kevin in the chat agrees with you. He says, well said. I don't think we can really argue with that too much.
It's 1-1 in United.
Oh, typical. Shane says, another great fan, Cam. Top man, Dave, Europa League. I think we can win it, honestly. Well, there's no reason why we can't. Let's hope we can. And Sebastian Coa said, started terrible, improved second half. Two faces for the team, not consistent enough. Yeah, he's two faces to this team. We either look really good and look dangerous, create chances, or we're making silly mistakes and giving away soft goals. And I guess that's like we just said with Albert. It's kind of, you get used to it with this team now, I suppose. But it needs to change if we're going to progress and really move forward and start challenging again for the big trophies. This week, then, Dave, who would be your man in a match today? Who would you give it to? Because there was a few good performances in the end.
Look, I suppose it's between three, really. I would say between Chambers, Odegaard, and Lacazette. Look, I give it to Chambers. Look, he's come back from ACL. He's another 90 minutes under his belt. Look, going forward, he showed something going forward. He was involved in, I think, 2 of the goals. So he played a great pass actually to Lacazette. If Odegaard done that, it would be on repeat. Remember with the one that Lacazette was cleared off the line. With outside of the boot around the defence. Like, if that was Ozil even, we'd be talking about it for the rest of the week. But look, I will give it to Chambers, and it's good to see him back, Rich, as well after the ACL. It's for Arsenal. We want everyone playing well, because then that's for the better for Arsenal. So look, long may it last with Chambers. Hopefully he might carry this form in, and even going in as a centre half, he was our best centre half before he got injured as well. So look, hopefully he might find that form and continue to show that form. But Lacazette, Odegaard, and Chambers, but I would just give Chambers the nod for everything he's been through.
Yeah, no, I don't think we can argue. I mean, Albert said the same. Kevin in chat says, Odegaard was brilliant second half. Buy him now. Well said, Dave. Yeah, totally agree. We need to try and get that deal done, because he's made a difference, hasn't he? And I kind of was agreeing with you a couple of weeks ago when needed a bit more to see from him, because he just come into the team. He looked good, but players can look good for 2 or 3 games. It's how they look when they've been playing 4, 5, 6 games. And he's now consistently performing, isn't he? And like you said, he's added end products. He's got a couple of goals now, and every time he gets the ball, he's looking to make something happen, isn't he? Today, I thought, as Kevin said there, I thought he was driving us on in the second half, and he was the key as much as anybody to the comeback actually today. So I agree. I want us to sign him, and if we can get that deal done, then that's a big signing for next season, isn't it? Because if we don't get him again next season, then we're going to have to try to find another player that can play that role as well as him, and that's going to be difficult to find, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, I know Smith Rowe can play there, but the two combine together well, don't they? Smith Rowe and Odegaard actually. So we need to try to keep him, but we'll see. A bit of work to do behind the scenes. I suppose,
look, a lot of it depends, Rich, on if Zidane stays at Real Madrid as well. I think, look, a new manager, when a new manager comes in, they tend to kind of keep the squad together and have a look at everyone, So it'll probably benefit us if Zidane was to come in. But look, and I'm conscious not to hold you up as well. I know there's other lads waiting to get in. So
yeah, no worries. Just before you go in, though, just obviously give your channel a plug as well, because you've got some good stuff there as well that people will be interested in watching. Some good Arsenal content.
Yeah, look, it's Out Now Gunners. That's my name on Twitter, and it's the same Out Now Gunners podcast on YouTube. Look, I'm hoping to do a show for tomorrow evening. So, look, I've nothing confirmed yet, so I will post in due course. So I'd love everyone to tune in and just check it out, and we'll kind of go through today's game and I suppose a little bit looking on for the rest of the season or whatever. But so look, that anyone that's interested, by all means do jump on it. As like yourself, I'd always be looking to engage the chat and everything like that. That's, I suppose, one of the more important bits. And thanks for the nice comments as well, Kevin and Shane as well. So it's always appreciated as well, you know. So look, again, thanks for having me on, Rich. I enjoy coming on with yourself. You know, we're making it kind of a normal thing lately. So it's good to come on, I think, kind of when you're fresh and you're ready, you know, kind of it's raw as well, you know, so it's nice to come on, you know. You're kind of still in that kind of that momentum from the game and the adrenaline is still going. So it's nice. Hopefully I didn't say something too mad. No, I don't want to become a meme either, but
No, not at all. I mean, I was saying before, actually, when the game was on, that if I'd been doing the fan cam after 30 minutes of that game, it would have been a totally different show, wouldn't it? And luckily, the second half has maybe helped to cheer us all up and make us feel a bit more optimistic and positive moving forward. And, you know, obviously, we're going to the international break now with a little bit more of a smile on our face than we might have done, certainly at 3:30 when things were looking a little bit grim. So, I mean, it's always good to have everyone. It's always good to hear your thoughts as well. And I say, check out the Out and Out Arsenal podcast as well, Out and Out Gunners podcast, sorry. And say, if you're doing a show tomorrow, put it on Twitter and we'll all check it out as well.
I will do.
And we'll speak to you very soon.
Take care, Rich. Bye, later.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
No problem.
And following on from Dave, we've got Ryan, of course, from the Mr. Arsenal podcast. How are you feeling after all that, Ryan?
Emotionally shattered.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was a good game to watch, I suppose, but very the heart didn't really like it too much.
I was just saying over on my channel, my streamer did during the game. Ryan, the other Ryan, was saying literally, as a neutral, that would be the perfect game. Goals. But as an Arsenal fan, and in the end with West Ham as well, it's absolutely, it doesn't do your heart any because it. What annoyed me about the game is we went 3-0. It took us to go 3-0 down for our players to actually go, oh, we're in the game now. We are in the game. We are here. This is actually we ain't actually dreaming. Okay. It shouldn't, again, against any opponent, it shouldn't take us to go 3 goals down or 2 goals or goal down at all for us to go, we're in a game now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, the start was terrible. Let's face it, the first half an hour of that game was dreadful, and it's probably the worst we've played for a very long time. And I was worried that we were going to lose by a lot more goals. But to be fair, the way that they turned that around, even before half time, that last 10, 15 minutes before half time, I thought we started to get on top of the game and we showed a lot more urgency. And yes, we shouldn't have done that at 3-0 down. We should have done it from the start and we'd have won. But I suppose you've got to look at it and say, well, at least we responded well to the situation that was looking really bad. And I guess at 3-0 down, we'd be happy with a point. But I've said already, I felt that game was there to be won with the chances that we had. Certainly in the second half, wasn't it? We could have won that game.
Well, in the second half, we were a completely different team. We came out with a purpose. Again, that frustrated me. Why wasn't it the beginning of the first half? We came out with a purpose, like the rocket being shoved at the backsides. Yeah. And suddenly, we had chance after chance. We could have scored more than 3 goals what we did. We should have done, really, but on another day. But again, we shouldn't be in that situation where we have to score more than 3. If you score 3 goals in a game, you should be winning that game.
Yeah. Away from home, definitely. If you score 3 away from home, you should win. Exactly. Yeah.
And unfortunately,
exactly. I mean, again, we're gifting soft goals. I mean, the second goal that West Ham scored today, that was absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? I mean, what was going on there? A quick free kick, just asleep. I mean, Leno should have saved it, shouldn't he?
Yeah, brain dead defending, and piss poor. Again, I don't like to swear, but piss poor goalkeeping from Leno at his near post. It's at him. It's literally. It's not like it was hit across goal and he has to stretch or anything. It's literally come at him.
Yeah,
isn't it? So I'm sorry. Again, that reminded me of the Almunia conceding a goal against Barcelona in the Champions League final. Was that his near post? He got nutmeg.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was a similar goal. Yeah. Yeah, he should have saved it. There's no doubt in my mind. And, you know, at that time, that looked as though I thought when they got them 2 quick goals, one after the other 2-0, I'm thinking that's it. It's just let's try and play for a bit of pride. And then they get a third goal and you're thinking, well, this is just not going well at all. But what do you think changed then? You know, after the third goal went in, was it West Ham maybe thinking, OK, job's done, they did sit back a little bit? Or was it us actually thinking, you know what, we need to get something here and just showing a bit more fight and determination? Or was it maybe a bit of both, do you think?
I think it's a bit of both, but I think I'll lean towards more so that West Ham took the foot off the gas. They believed 3-0, especially as quick as they got them 3 goals. They thought, right, game's done. We're just going to sit back and get the 3 points. Now we're 3-0 up. If we get another goal or whatever, that's great. But we're here now, and they got cocky themselves. It backfired. But once it obviously we got the second, once we got 3-1, I thought, oh, okay, no problem. The second one, because of the timing of the second one, it sort of threw them and they couldn't react. It took them to again. Once it went 3-all, that they started coming at us again because they realised they bottled a 3-0 lead. So it's a bit of both here. But as I said, I lean towards more so that they took the foot off the gas, that they got cocky and confident in themselves. At the time, because they rightly so, because we were literally inviting them to come at us.
Yeah. Well, no, we were. And I don't know, I started to get the feeling, and I don't really know whether there was an incident in the game that maybe triggered it, but suddenly I saw us go from looking like we didn't lay a glove on them, did we, for ages? No. They were just doing whatever they wanted. They were playing with us. The ball was in front of our penalty area for the whole game, and you're thinking, this is not great. And then suddenly, you know, we were 3-0 down, and something just seemed to change so quickly, and we just suddenly got on top. And West Ham dropped off. They definitely did. There's no doubt about that. But I did think we stepped up our intensity. I mean, the way we came out of that second half, when Lacazette nearly scored straight away, it cleared off the line. You know, that was impressive. I don't know what I said at half time, but for once it sort of worked. I know sometimes we've criticised Arteta for maybe not showing enough in the dressing room, perhaps, but I think he did today at half time. Do you think that maybe that was a factor in the way that we played second half in particular?
After all the players came in, he was on the bench. You could see he was stewing. He clearly said something to the players.
Yeah,
but I've ditched before I come on here. Apparently, like at the press conference, but post-match interview, where he said, "Arteta's asking me to do stuff, but I'm not doing it." So he's now got players that come out publicly saying, "We're not doing what he's asking of us. We're doing the complete opposite now." And I'm like, "Well, that's worrying." Hearing that from a player, senior players, even if he's at the door or not, we're hearing that from a player saying that, "Oh, well, Melissa's asked me to do one thing, but I'm doing the opposite. I'm not doing that." And obviously, it's benefited because he's contributed to 2 of the 3 goals, one of them being a known goal. But still, so far as he's concerned, he's justified. So hence why he's then coming out and saying that's. And this is all these little things are happening are very similar to what happened at the end of Emery's time. Players coming out, casting doubt over Emery publicly, his management style, this, that, and the other. And it's again, that's concerning. But at the same time, long term, I've got to be honest, this season, he has flattered to deceive tactically, and even his team selections. I mean, why is Aubameyang starting, let alone on the left wing, some in a position, in a way, in a partnership, we want to call it partnership with Lacazette, that didn't work to start the season.
Yeah,
literally, that formula he tried to start the season wasn't working. It's part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in the first half of the season, because it weren't working. It took too long to go, actually, I'm going to hook one off and put one up front. And he's sort of reverted back, and that's concerning as well. And what's lots of Pepe and Martinelli got to do? I mean, Pepe on that left wing has done a lot more this season on left wing than what Uber's done this season. Yet he's on the bench all the time. Yeah. Even when he's in form, he gets dropped. Yeah, the captain who's got a discipline issue, no matter what, apart from last Sunday, he's constantly playing.
I mean, he did take him off today, which I was quite surprised about. It was the right decision, and it was the right thing to do. But I was surprised he took him off, actually. I know he didn't have a very good game at all again, but he doesn't normally take him off, does he? That's quite a big statement, isn't it? When you're captain, you take your captain off and bring out a Martinelli on, a young player.
Yeah, and to be honest, it did surprise me, the guys over on my stream as well, when we watched it, because we was like, substitute Roulette, when he's going to do it, and who's going to take off. And I listed like Odegaard, he'll take off Partey, he'll take off Lacazette instead. He took off the opposite. He took off Aubameyang, as you know, Saka and Granit.
Yeah.
Another one that surprised me was Granit one because he never gets substituted at Arsenal under Arteta apparently.
No, he doesn't know.
Oh, but
substitutes worked. They worked, though, didn't they? Today,
they worked. That's the main thing. They did work.
Yeah, they did. I thought Smith Rowe did well when he came on. Pepe set up the third goal. Great cross that was for the header from Lacazette as well. I know Martinelli didn't really get on long enough to have an impact, but I thought overall the substitutes did work. So, and they were made at a good time as well. You know, he made the right substitutions when we were chasing the game to try to get the goal, and we got the goal. And I've criticised him for that before because he's not done that enough, and he did it today, and it worked. So I'm going to give him credit for that, Arteta. And I'm still not convinced by Arteta long term. I've got to be honest. I don't think he's quite there yet, and he's still learning. To be fair, and it's costing us, unfortunately. His mistakes are costing us, aren't they? And how much longer can we keep getting away with it? And I don't. How long can he keep getting away with it? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I was pleased with the second half performance. That's as well as we've played, isn't it? I think for a long time that second half today.
Yeah,
impressive.
Sorry, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Then, as I said, how much longer has he got left? Especially when players are coming out saying what they're saying, post-match interviews and all that now, saying they're not believing in what his system is or whatever, or the process, or trust the process, or we don't trust it. How long has he got left really? I've been saying for the last month and a half now, over on my channel. In any other walk of life, if you're given a set time frame, you've got a target to hit. You've got a primary target, secondary, third, worst case scenario target. And you've not hit one of them. And in these cases, qualify for Champions League, Viola League. He's failed that. Win the the second case is get Champions League via Europa League. Still up, obviously 1 in 8 chance of winning it, but I don't think we will. And obviously, the worst case is Europa League via the league. If we're coming into the season, what we expect is going to happen. We don't get European football full stop. We fuck up in the Europa League and don't win that. No European football. I think anyone else will, again, in other walks of life, you failed on 3 targets, even a bare minimum. Bye bye. But I don't trust this. I don't trust this ownership to, if they were to sack him, to get the right man in. And the thing is, there is managers available that can come in that are experienced, that won't take rubbish from the players like Arteta does. If you're dropped, you're dropped. If you're in form, you're playing. Whereas Arteta seems to be doing the complete opposite.
I mean, I agreed with Arteta dropping Aubameyang last week. What I didn't agree with was coming out in the press and saying the reasons why, because that actually,
that caused more friction.
It's caused more, exactly. And I think behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on with that now. All he had to do was come out and say, I've picked the team that I think is to win this game, and that's it. Just leave it at that. And we won the game as well, so he would have got away with it. But having come out and said, he's got disciplinary issues, he's turning up late, I think it's starting to cause problems behind the scenes, and suddenly it's taken it away from Arteta a little bit and put it onto Aubameyang. And Aubameyang has a poor game today. Again, he had a poor game the other night. He gets taken off, and it's changed the whole dynamic of it, actually. So I didn't like the way Arteta did that. He didn't need to throw Aubameyang under the bus. He could have just said, it's my choice that I've rotated the squad again, as I did in every other game. No one would have batted an eyelid, would they? They wouldn't have said, oh, well, why you done that? Because everyone would have accepted it, because he rotates Lacazette, he rotates plenty of other players in the team quite a lot, doesn't he? Ceballos is in and out, he rotates the centre halves all the time. He plays a different right back every game at the minute, so no one questions that, do they? Where was Bellerin today? They didn't come out and ask, where's Bellerin, did they? He didn't have to justify that decision. And Bellerin's vice captain, don't forget, and he was left out of the squad. And he wasn't asked about that. So no one, people would have asked, where's Aubameyang? Why isn't he in the team? This is the team I've picked to win this game. That's all he has to say. And I think that has caused problems behind the scenes. This
isn't the first time, though, this season that Arteta's thrown players under the bus. But at the same time, saying that, he's inconsistent with it as well. Because we actually saw, as I keep going back to the Pepe red card, literally, live on national TV, threw Pepe under the bus.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't hold back at all. Week later, Granit Xhaka does a similar thing. Pretty much. The only difference is he grabbed someone around the throat, but literally protected him, and that's instant. And he continues to protect Granit as well. even recently after the old Burnley situation with the goal, their equalising goal and all that. But there's other players where obviously Pepe now Aubameyang, where he's thrown under the bus, and it is causing more friction within the training pit, because it's like, well, hang on, you're doing it to me, but you might do it to this one. And this is a consistency thing with Mikel, that he isn't consistent enough. If he was consistently going, right, I'm punishing you, I'm going to throw you under the bus, throw you to every single one of them. We did it to everyone. I'm sure there wouldn't be as much of an issue as there is currently, because every players will be like, okay, you've done it to me now. It hurts because you've done it, but at the same time, you're not treating me any different to anyone else. The fact he is being inconsistent is not helping things.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, Kevin in chat says obviously Partey getting the ball and driving forward, it didn't happen in the first half. And Kevin's asked a question there: what player said they didn't do what the manager said? Which player was it?
Lacazette.
Lacazette. So yeah, I mean, I would say I haven't heard the interview yet. Actually, I think that maybe he's sort of saying that in the first half we wasn't doing what the manager wanted us to do, which is why we were 3-0 down. But you've got to ask the question: why are they not doing it exactly? You know, they're told you don't come out to a game the way that we did today against a good team that was on form. That was suicide, and that's how it proves to be. But I'd say fair play to everyone today, because we rolled our sleeves up. And it would have been easy to go down at 3-0 and thought, well, it's a league game, it's not as important as the Europa League, and just maybe gone through the motions and lost 3 or 4-0. But they didn't, did they? And Arteta obviously says that you could, like, I agree with you, when he came out second half, you could see he had a stony face on. He'd gone mad at half time in that Justin. You could see that he had, and it made a difference because they came out and played better. And we got the result. I felt we could have won. We had so many chances, didn't we? I mean, it was
the second half performance wise, we should have won, yeah, but. You know what? The fact that we came back is, again, this must be frustrating for Mikel, that that shows that the character and the mentality is in there. The players, that they can turn it on when they want to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when he first came in, he said straight away, "I want to get a winning mentality in this squad." But he's now coming in the season, year and a half in the job, and things haven't changed on that side of things. They haven't got any better or any worse. It's just it's stagnated again. It's the same issues again and again. It's the same players as well that we have issues with.
Yeah, no, it is. It is the same players, and I don't know. It's a difficult one, because I'm still on the fence with Arteta. If I'm honest, I haven't made up my mind totally either way. I can see some improvements in certain aspects. I can see the same mistakes being made constantly in other aspects, and it's a difficult one for me. Yeah, I still haven't quite decided where I think we're going to end up with Arteta and whether Arteta is going to be at last. But I think we're still in the Europa League, and I think while we're still in that, I think any talk of Arteta out needs to be put aside until at least that's decided one way or the other. We've either won it or we haven't, and then we'll see where we are at the end of the season. But yeah, definitely we need to cut out these silly mistakes, and we need to start games better, and then we've got a chance, haven't we? And that's what it's about for me. It's about giving ourselves a chance to win games, and we're making too many silly mistakes at the back, and we're missing too many chances at the other end, and the combination of that has been what's cost us. And if we don't finish in the top 6, that's the reason why. Nothing else, I don't think. I mean, who would be your man in the match today then, Ryan? Because obviously there was a few good performances in the end. I know it took a while to get going, but we had a few good performances today, didn't we, in the end?
Well, I'm sort of toss up between Chambers and Lacazette and Odegaard again, because Odegaard, I mean, I saw this Russ put in the group chat on WhatsApp that, or one of the images he put in. Basically, I'll get it up now to get the wording right. Martin Odegaard completed 7 passes into the box in open play today, the most by an Arsenal player in a single game this season. Wow. And then the stats were for Odegaard: 93% passing accuracy, 95 touches, 16 penalty area entries, most if anyone in the pitch, 9 crosses, most, 6 duels won, 5 touches in the opposition box, 4 take-ons, the most out of everyone on the pitch, 4 chances created, most, 3 shots, 2 fouls won, 1 shot on target. This is a lone player, by the way.
Yeah, no, he had a great game, but he was the one driving us forward in the second half in particular, wasn't he?
So,
Every time he got the ball, he was looking to get us on the front foot, and I thought he had a great game. Actually, I thought he was brilliant today.
So I was slightly lean towards Odegaard for them reasons, but I think Chambers isn't a far shout either, because even though he got caught out on one of the goals, I think it's the first goal. We got caught out. It was position-wise. The first goal. Apart from that, he did nothing wrong today, and then getting forward as well. He's putting crosses in, but another thing, he's putting crosses in, but there's no one attacking it. We've got three: Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Saka, but no one got in the box to attack it.
No,
they're all on the edge of the box, holding back. I'm like, So what's the point of part of this process of cross? Part of Arteta's thing seems to be get the ball in the box no matter what, guys narrow or crossing it in. If no one's attacking the ball, what's the point? Because I keep saying we're going to get, or they're going to clear it anyway.
Yeah, no, I know West Ham were strong at the back, but funny enough, all 3 goals came from crosses, didn't they? Actually, all our 3 goals today, and all from crosses from the right hand side as well, because 2 from Chambers and 1 from Pepe. So it did pay off in the end. And finally, we got some goals from crosses. But I mean, I thought, I agree. They were the 3 outstanding players for me: Odegaard, Lacazette, and Chambers. And it's difficult to pick one out of those 3. I personally liked Odegaard's performance. I just thought the way he drove us forward was great. It was great to watch, and hopefully we can get him signed up full time. Let's hope so, because I think it'd be difficult to get another player like him to come in. If we lose him, we won't be able to, and that's going to be a massive gap then in that area of the pitch for us, I think. But anyway.
And with Odegaard as well, with the price that's been banned at about 30, 40 million, whatever it is, or even 45 million, that's a bargain for the player that we're seeing at the moment. That's an absolute bargain. Snap your hand off and run. Yeah.
No, it is. I agree. It is definitely a bargain when you look at it. But anyway, it is what it is, and I suppose we'll see what happens. But I'll be gutted if we lose him, because he's been impressive for me, and he's getting better every game now. He's having more and more influence, and today he was great. So anyway, before you go on, just to give your channel a plug as well, the Mr. Arsenal podcast.
Yeah, you can find me on here on YouTube as well, the Mr. Arsenal podcast. We do What's Non's podcasts. International boats will be interested in. The quizzes will be coming back as well now, obviously, because Mike, as you know, has some personal stuff to deal with for the last couple of weeks. So, but he wants to start that up again. So we'll bring that back to an international break as well. As I said, a few podcasts, and obviously in the normal outside of the international breaks, we have the previews, reviews, player ratings, and all that. And you can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Arsenal 89.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks for having me on, by the way.
No, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon anyway, because we always seem to be doing a lot of stuff together on your channel on here, so that's always good. Just quickly, there's a little comment from Kevin there, said the thing with stats doesn't show the guy running off the ball. It's important as well. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Cool.
And sometimes things are easy to get missed, but I thought obviously Odegaard's stats today that was impressive, and that kind of backs up what I felt from watching him today as well, because I thought he was great. But
even off the ball, he demands the ball as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's what he was doing all game, wasn't he? Give it to me. And when he got it, he was doing good stuff with it as well. So great performance from him. Well, thanks for coming on there again, Ryan. It's always a pleasure, I say, and I'm sure we'll speak again very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
And finally, our last guest today, it's Enda. How you doing, mate? You okay? Lovely top you've got on there, by the way.
Yeah, do you like the hat?
Well, not so much the hat. No, the top's nice though.
Yeah. Did you hear that Ireland beat England yesterday in the rugby? I don't think.
No, well, I'm not interested in Ireland or rugby or anything else.
Jesus, we'll take any win we can get. Our soccer team. Our soccer team couldn't score if they were there till the year 3000. Even if they played underwater.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, what did you make of the Arsenal performance today? Then we got a point in the end, but it was a great game to watch, wasn't it? You must have enjoyed it, surely.
As a neutral, you would enjoy it. Like Lievka said, I mean, conceding 3 goals is careless, and the manner in which we conceded the goals was careless.
Yeah, it was.
People big up Kieran Tierney the whole time. He was very lacking for that free kick. I mean, people talk about him stepping up and being captain. He had his back turned to the ball. You know, I mean, the first thing you do as a defender, you free kick, is you if you're going to give out to someone, crowd over the ball. Like, don't leave the ball exposed. You know, because he's perfectly within his rights to take that free kick. Like, people were giving there's nothing illegal about that free kick. What's wrong was Arsenal's immaturity and how they dealt with it. And I felt Tierney, as a future captain, this is where I think he is still a bit too green around the gills to be captain. That being said, our current captain exposed him a lot today because, as people were saying, him on the left left Tierney with so much work to do. Because Aubameyang was abysmal again, really abysmal. Like, as the fella says, people say sell Lacazette. No, if we get money for Aubameyang, take it. He doesn't want to be at the club for whatever reason. He's just lost his mojo. You know, I mean, turning up late for the North London derby, that's an indication of where his head's at. You know, he was too busy posting on Instagram with his EFTV friends, because he posted half an hour before the match. So, you know, what does that tell you? You know, like,
I totally agree.
If he wants to be kind of a wide boy, rude boy, driving around his car around London and having all the kids just look at it and, you know, showing off, fine, do that. But you're not the captain of Arsenal, you know?
I totally agree. And I brought a video out earlier in the week saying that we should maybe look at changing the captain now. I thought last week to me was the final straw. Like you said, if you're going to turn up late for a game of that importance as captain of Arsenal, you shouldn't be captain of the club anymore. Simple as that.
And like, even today, like when they were 3-0 down, it wasn't Aubameyang getting the team. You know, if anyone, it was actually Lacazette, you know? And there's the senior player, and the guy said it before me, all the young players have nothing but praise for Lacazette. So I'd keep Lacazette, give him another year contract to bring on the young lads, because they are very young. And, you know, we'd go from there. If we get an offer for Aubameyang, because he's on a big contract, take it, you know.
I agree.
And use that money to keep Odegaard.
I mean, Mark's putting the chat there. That top is class. It is. I do love that.
It is.
It's the 1982-83 top, isn't it?
I got a number in the back now. Saka obviously is a great number 7, but this guy's very good as well.
We can't see it, Andy. You'll have to bend down. We can't see it.
I'll give you a clue. He's Irish, and he's number 7.
So we know who you mean. Yeah, of course.
It's Chippy Brady. So
unfortunately,
he did a bit before my time.
And mine. But he was a great player. We all know. At Arsenal, I didn't see him live play for Arsenal. He left the year before I started going. I mean, I saw him play in FA Cup finals for us when I was a kid, but I didn't actually see him play for Arsenal. I saw him play for West Ham, funnily enough. But a great player, he's fantastic.
He was Ireland's, you know, the Republic of Ireland's most skillful player. Obviously, Georgie Best was Northern Ireland's most skillful player. You know,
he was a great player, and it's good to have his. Unfortunately, he didn't wear that shirt though, did he? Because he'd already left by the time we released that. We played in that kit, but
shush.
But no, it's fine. I don't mind.
You pick up on that, you know that, because I said nobody will notice. Well, why did I go on to Richard and immediately show him when it's clearly? But
it is a lovely top. To be fair, it is a lovely top.
I think it's only like the next season. I think, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a season or so after, but it's a lovely top there, and as Mark said, I totally agree. Shane here in the chat there says all last season who kept us waiting for his new contract. He did, because no one else wanted him. I'm not sure about that.
No, I wouldn't agree there. No, in fairness,
he has playing in China written all over him. I think he doesn't want to be, and I agree. It doesn't look like he wants to be here. His performances don't suggest
he doesn't want to play football. I don't even think. I think it's not Arsenal. I just think his head's not in the game. As I said, with no disrespect, and I'm not putting the man down because I'm a big mental health advocate, I think a sports psychologist would be what I'd bring in to sort out Aubameyang, get his head right.
Maybe.
And because, I mean, you look at all the top sports people, and Padraig Harrington, who won the British Open twice, and he won the USPGA, and what gave him the edge? A sports psychologist, you know? So if Aubameyang, his head's not in it, he needs to get his head in the game. How do you do that? Sports psychologist or someone like that to get back in. That's if he wants it. But if he doesn't want it, nothing's going to change that. So that's
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point, actually. And there does seem to be issues that he's got away from football. We know he's had his personal issues with his family as well, and whether that's played a part in it, I'm not sure.
But I mean, his mum's very sick, and I have a lot of time for that because my mum was sick at the same time as his. But then he went in and got this tattoo while he was supposed to be under quarantine. While he was in the COVID bubble. So just stuff like that to me is just not professional. It's lacking professionalism. So, I mean, like if that was Mesut Ozil, we'd be calling him out. But everyone said Mesut Ozil trained hard the whole time. He just wasn't part of Arteta's vision going forward, which is fine. And that's why I'm writing off this season. And I have said it a few times, because this is the regeneration. Arteta was getting rid of the players that weren't working for him. And he was getting players that will work within his structure and do what he wants them to do. And I'm not sure. I'd say if we got an offer for Aubameyang, we would take it. Because like that, we can get Odegaard then on permanent deal, and we can perhaps look at bringing other players in. Obviously, we are all saying we need a big central defender. Very good central defenders are very hard to come by. You ask Liverpool, ask anyone. It's very tough. But Callum Chambers was brilliant today, and I was delighted for him because I've always been a bit of a critic. I always said he was a championship level player. He wasn't a Premier League level player. But today he played very, very well in right back. And as someone reminded me, the last time he played right back for Arsenal, he had an absolute shocker. So Redemption Song was what I put up on Twitter for Mr. Callum Chambers by Bob Marley. Because I feel he did redeem himself today. He played out of his skin. He'd an assist. He'd a part in two of the goals. He really, really. I mean, like people say, "Oh, Aubameyang's not playing in his best position." Callum Chambers wasn't in his best position today, and look what he did. I mean, when Aubameyang's supposed to be world class, he should be able to slot into one or two different roles. You can't be just this, well, I can only play, I'm not the main striker. I can't play on the left. I can't play on the right. I can only kind of play as a false number 9 kind of a thing. But he isn't even a false number 9. He's not number 10. Emile Smith-Rowe are number 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, Kevin's got an interesting point in the chat actually there. He says, do you not think fans not being there has an effect on him? As it has a lot of players in different clubs. Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, it affects all the players. I
suppose it affects them all differently, perhaps, though, doesn't it? Everybody's different, aren't they? As you said, some people can cope with things in a different way than others.
But it's this I find. Everyone's willing to make excuses for Aubameyang. They don't make them for Xhaka. They didn't make them for Ozil. They don't make them for lots of players. But Aubameyang seems to, but he's not in the right position. But the fans aren't there. The fans aren't there for anyone. No,
I agree. But some players maybe can cope with that better than others. I think we have seen that this season.
Cope with it, that's not good enough right now. We need players that can. If he wants to address it, that's fine. I'll support that. But if he's no interest in doing that, I have no interest in him playing for Arsenal, and certainly not being the captain.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just pushing my point.
I'm not disagreeing. I just feel as though there could be. Obviously, other fact we don't know, do we, what goes on behind the scenes, and we don't know. Maybe he is seeking help if from sports psychology. We don't know, do we? There's no reason to think that he is or he isn't, I suppose. But I want to see some more from him on the pitch.
But if he was, he would have, things like being late and things like that would stop happening. I mean, because that's the one thing a sports psychologist, any psychologist addresses is your behaviors. And so your cognitive behavior is addressed, and that's what they do. So I feel if he was seeing a sports psychologist, he would have addressed those minor things. Well, they're major enough, but by changing his behavior there, that would change it would keep it in the long term. So by showing up late, by posting stupid things on Instagram, to me says no, he's not working with a psychologist, or if he is, he's not listening to him. Or her.
It's not working. It's not having the desired effect. No, definitely not. Mark there says the Redemption Song's a hell of a tune as well. He's right, it is. I mean, you can't really go wrong with much Bob Marley, to be fair, can you? Pretty much all Bob Marley songs are class, aren't they? So,
I was all along the watchtower, for Arsenal,
That's a good tune as well, isn't it? Yeah. So, but I mean, obviously, today. No, good. I mean, today's game, did you feel as though, I know we were 3-0 down, and I suppose getting a draw from that's all right, but I felt we could have won that game with the chances that we had. Did you feel that as well?
I know you're saying that, and I just felt like we scored fairly late, our equaliser, so to get the winning goal then is a bit of an extra ask. And obviously West Ham are not a bad side. David Moyes has them, I mean, they're fifth, aren't they? Fifth, yeah. You know, I mean, we're 10th, and that's our position, and that's where we are this season. And it's not a false position. That's effectively where we are now. We're a mid-table club, you know. And David Moyes has turned West Ham around, and fair play to David Moyes for doing that. You know, Mark Noble and even Declan Rice, who I really hate now. Snake.
He played well today, Declan Rice. He played well today, Declan Rice.
I bet you'll keep his Irish passport for travelling through Europe, though. But like, what can you do? I mean, West Ham, fair play to them. I mean, and people say that about Arsenal, but I mean, West Ham have had their troubles too. They've been relegated. They've come back up. You know, this notion that Arsenal's too, you know, we're too big a club for any of this. Like, there's no such thing as that. I mean, Manchester United were relegated. You know, they in 1982 they were playing. Was it 1982 or 1983? I mean, they were playing in the lower leagues. I mean, okay, us and Everton have been the longest in the top flight, but like, you know, there's no God-given right to be a top 6 team. You know, I mean, the top 6 team is only made up anyway because 2 of the teams wouldn't have been in it if it wasn't for rich oligarch sugar daddies. I mean, Chelsea were never ever a top team in the football league, or well, Man City were, but it was about 100 years ago. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the only reason they're top 6 now is because of money. You know, I mean, we didn't have that same level of investment, and Wenger didn't get that same level of investment, and he chose long-termism over short-termism. And of course, long-termism isn't. It's like in politics. You don't win votes with long-term projects, but ultimately it's what's best for the club. And I do believe the Emirates Stadium, it had to happen because Highbury was too small. I mean, 34,000. Like, would you really have a Premier League team with 34,000? You know, it wouldn't work, and it didn't work. And the Emirates is a very good stadium. And this notion that, we were better when we stayed there. No, the situation was different when we played there. Chelsea didn't have an oligarch. Leicester didn't have a Thai sugar daddy, and certainly Man City weren't just bankrolled by the most corrupt nation in the world, you know. So
the football landscape has changed a lot, and I agree. I didn't like them. I didn't like having to move from Highbury, but I understood the reasons why, and it hasn't quite worked out.
And Highbury as a listed building couldn't be changed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, I mean, even now they changed it into apartments, but it's still Highbury. Like, I mean,
of course.
And it's a beautiful building. Like, but obviously, if you can't change the structure to increase the capacity, you have to go somewhere else, and that's what they did.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I totally understand why we moved. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out as we all hoped. You know, we hoped that moving would enable us to challenge for the titles and stuff. But like you said,
the
football landscape changed.
What Wenger had said at the time. That was the sacrifice he made. For 10 years, he couldn't buy a top player because they invested in that stadium. And it was only by sheer luck and his wonderful management that we managed to stay in the top 4 for far longer than we deserved to, you know. And even to then be in the top 6, I think, was a bit punching above our weight. I think 8th, 9th and 10th is probably realistic of where Arsenal are, given the football landscape, given where we are. I mean, you talk about if this is a bad season, you know, if we finish 10th and if we get knocked out of the Europa League, then should Arteta go? And you seem to think he should. However, I would say no. This is the rebuilding season. I'm writing this season off. So we're not going to get relegated. We're not going to win the Europa League. I'm sorry, we're not. Like,
we're still in it. We're still in it, so we might do it at the moment.
We're on the nice side of the draw. We could get to the final, but unfortunately, like the Chelsea match in Baku, it's something that'll probably be beyond us. People said Man United in the final. I don't think Man United are the strongest team on their side. You know?
No, I don't know.
So I don't think it'll be Man United in the final. It might be us, but I think the team opposite is going to be a lot stronger than we will on the night. You know, and okay, we could. It's a one-off. It's a knockout competition. Of course, if we beat Slavia Prague, which I hope we do, because Their absolutely abhorrent racist behaviour is disgusting. And as an ex-Arsenal player, you know, I mean, I think I'd love for Aubameyang or obviously Lacazette or Partey or any one of our black players just to absolutely stick it to them and score an absolute screamer and just really destroy them, because it's a genuinely disgusting thing. And the way he went over and covered his mouth so he knew he wouldn't get caught. Like, you don't just run up to a player and whisper something into their ear like that, like, and then it's like, you are a bad man. Like, nobody believes that's what he said.
No, of course not. We all know what's happened, and they've got a history of it, haven't they, unfortunately?
Yeah, but the FA did the same with John Terry, when he clearly said racist things, and they just looked the other way because he was an England international. Like, you know, England don't have a great track record with racism either. You know, token gestures, they're brilliant at, but actual action, they're very slow to change.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Just going back to Aubameyang there, Shane in the chat said you can get over missing chances. That's just a blip, but he's been a bottle job. He's 6'2". His body language is awful. Totally agree with that. He doesn't.
I would agree. His body language just tells me he doesn't want to be there. You know, I mean, it's all right missing a chance. And someone said, you know, why he crossed the ball, why he didn't shoot today, and I said confidence. He's no confidence. You know, any striker would have took that shot on near the end, and he just put it across the box because he didn't have the you know, he just wasn't there. You know, he didn't have the mentality, the mindset to take it on. Because even the other night, he tried an elaborate trick rather than just blasting the ball. Because like that, if he tried an elaborate trick and it didn't come off, nobody's going to kill him for it. But if he just took a shot on target and it missed, people are more critical. I mean, I loved Aubameyang. He's done so many things for Arsenal, but he needs to get his head sorted. And if he's not willing to do that, then he's no good to us. And I'd rather the money be used to for our Norwegian midfielder.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Shane says, obviously relating to the Europa League, he says, we also thought that in the FA Cup last year, and have to believe in the Europa League. It's very important to play in Europe next season. Yeah, and while we're in it, like, I didn't think we'd win the FA Cup last season.
Well, I thought Britain wanted to be out of Europe. I'm confused now.
Well, I'd rather we were in that particular competition.
But to be honest, as a person obviously who supports the European Union, but I actually think a season out of Europe might be the best thing for Arsenal. You look what it did to Man United, and you know they won the FA Cup that year, and
but their financial situation though is better. We need the money from Europe more than Man United maybe did, or maybe Chelsea.
We need more investment from our owners. You know, we can't be just depending on winning things and qualifying things to make money. You know, Chelsea don't have to do that. Man City don't have to do that. Leicester don't have to do that. Liverpool don't even have to do that. You know, they have been bankrolled hugely. And I was looking at the wage, you know, the total wage bills of all the club. And you know who has the highest wage bill? And it's not Manchester City. It's Manchester United. So they
we are. I guess probably that. Yeah.
So they are being.
I mean, no. I mean, Kevin says in the chat there, what would you think if Big Russian came in from Red and White and then spent millions like he said he would? We would be a Man City. Yeah, we would. I'm not sure I'd like to go down that route, but sometimes I can see that maybe that's what the club would need, because I can't see how we can compete at the top level again at that level without that investment.
The rules of the Premier League have made it so that anyone can come in, buy a club and spend billions and completely win everything, and they're going to not bat an eyelid. There's no financial control in the Premier League. There's no checks and balances done at all. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So while that's the state of play, you know, it's like people saying, well, I'm not going to go down if I'm tackled. Well, I'm sorry. If you're tackled and it's a foul, make the referee aware that you've been fouled. Like Kieran Tierney did, you know, because Xhaka stayed in his feet and he got nothing, whereas Tierney went to ground and he got a penalty, you know. So it's okay. You mightn't like it on a moral level, but sometimes that's what you got to do. You know, that's the state of play now. They're the new rules of engagement. That's what you got to do.
No, I don't really disagree with that either. Mike in the chat there says, how good was Callum Chambers today?
He was brilliant, excellent. Mike. He was really good. He was my man of the match.
I thought he was brilliant today. As for Aubameyang, he said he was shocking again. Yeah, again, we agree with you totally there. He was shocking.
Was it Fatboy Slim? Was it Fatboy Slim? No, it was the Prodigy. Where's your head at? What's that?
Yeah,
So-
no, that was actually who did sing "Where's Your Head At"? I don't think it was a Prodigy.
No, it
but anyway,
wasn't.
I know what song you mean. Joe's in the chat as well. Hi guys. Hi Joe. Thanks for tuning in. And Mike there says it's no coincidence that Aubameyang comes off and then we score. That is true. Although we did score 2 goals when he was on the pitch as well. But yeah, no, I understand the point you're making though, and I don't really disagree.
As I
with
said,
that.
I mean, I was talking about different songs for different people. There's the song I had for Aubameyang. Well, the contra song was Aubameyang today was lacking desire. You know, there was certainly no rattle and hum about him anyway.
No, there certainly wasn't. A nice U2 reference as well.
Yeah.
And what a comeback there from Joe, which is great. Dave in the chat.
At half time, I was thinking Sunday, bloody Sunday, you know.
Lacquer for Uber, he says yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree with that at the moment either. And Joe says Uber's too weak, he doesn't fight. No, exactly, he doesn't want to get hurt, does he? He doesn't want to put himself in a position to get hurt and score goals, and that's unfortunately why he's not scoring as many goals this season as he was.
That's why he does better in Europe, where it's less physical, you know.
Yeah, quite possibly. I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, and he certainly looks bit better in Europe, although he was poor the other night in the Europa League game, wasn't he?
Oh, he was poor the other night, but I mean, they'd be a more physical team. And obviously, I think Prague are going to be a very physical team, so I wouldn't even bother playing Aubameyang because it's a waste of a jersey, you know?
Possibly. I mean, I've got a feeling he will play, but yeah, maybe I'm not too...
I think he'd have to play because Arteta would be just lynched if he didn't play him and we lost, you know?
Yeah, but, I mean, he obviously he took that risk against Tottenham and it paid off. I mean, I was saying actually last week that we've played our best performances generally have been when Aubameyang's not played this season.
Because we've had 11 players trying on the pitch. 11 players trying will always be better than 10 players trying and 1 player not trying. Because it's better to have 10 players just on the pitch than 10 players and 1 negative player, because he'll just drain you. You know, like a dead battery in with a working battery, it'll just drain the other battery and won't give any performance. Like he drained Tierney today. You know, Tierney's mistakes probably came from doing so much work on the left because Aubameyang was so poor. You know, so he's a negative impact on the team. And this guy's supposed to be our captain.
No, I totally agree. Dave says, smash the likes up. Yeah, please smash the likes up. That's much appreciated. Mike says, would you play him for Liverpool? Obviously meaning Aubameyang. For me, no, same with Prague. No, I wouldn't play him at the moment at all, but I'm assuming he's going to play.
And it's only because I've written off the league, I might as well play him in the Liverpool match.
But not against Prague, yeah.
Certainly not against Prague. Definitely not against Prague.
No, I kind of get you.
And as well as that, Liverpool's defense is weak enough; it might give him some confidence if he scored.
Yeah, maybe. Joe says, Aubameyang's addition to Adams, play for the name on the front of the shirt, and they will remember the name on the back. Yeah, unfortunately,
and can I just come in on that, because to me that's a little bit misty-eyed nostalgia at this stage. We've moved on from that when Tony Adams was playing. You know, play for the front of the jersey or play for the badge. He was a product of Arsenal. He was an Arsenal player. Aubameyang's not an Arsenal player. He's a player we signed for a lot of money. You know what I mean? I mean, this notion that they can buy into the brand, and I mean, it all sounds great when they leave and they still retweet and everything's they still love Arsenal. But I mean, how much of that is just marketing and keeping their brand fresh? You know, I mean, how much passion do modern players have for the team that they're playing? You know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's moving on to the next level. And if Arsenal's just a stepping stone, then they're not seeing the badge. They're just seeing the opportunity to put themselves in the shop window to perhaps get picked up by a bigger club. And that's where we are, unfortunately, at the moment. So I think this misty-eyed nostalgia or play for the badge at the front and they'll remember the name on the back. I think in the Premier League money over everything world that we live in, that's defunct and redundant. You know, it's nice when players play well, like players like Lacazette playing very well. But Lauren Koscielny nearly played with a leg that was hanging off for a season, and Arsenal fans just turned on them when he decided that he wanted to move back to France with his family because obviously he wasn't getting on with the manager. I mean, his new team had launched a video of him moving in, and all the Arsenal fans lost their shit. Like, but if someone does that when they come to Arsenal, they lap it up. Like, you know, it's like, do people not realize the sacrifices Lauren Koscielny made for Arsenal? You know, it's the disrespect of fans as well. It goes both ways. I mean, players giving so much of their time and their energy. I mean, he had a very young family. He wanted to go back to France because he knew this is it. His legs fucked. His knee was damaged. He's not going to be, you know, there the whole time. So go back to France and, you know, set up a home and family with his wife. I've no issue with that, but apparently it's the biggest insult in the world.
No, I mean, I suppose it's just annoying because, you know, you shouldn't kind of do that maybe as a former captain. Shane says it's another Ozil situation with Aubameyang. Yes, I definitely think it's becoming that way since he signed his contract. Kevin says he's having a bet next game he scores a hat-trick. It wouldn't surprise me because that's what he's done.
Kevin,
he's got a hat-trick against Leeds. He got 2
goals
goals
against.
against.
Take your money.
Yeah.
Because that ain't going to happen.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he scores a hat-trick again soon.
See, this is this kind of thing. Oh, yeah, he's going to bang a hat-trick next time. The form he's in now, I couldn't see him score 1 goal, let alone a hat-trick.
No, but we thought the same before we played Leeds, and he's got a hat-trick there. So he's got it in his capabilities to do it, I suppose. Mike says there he doesn't want to see Aubameyang again. Don't know why we don't give Martinelli and Nketiah and Balogun some starts and see what the future has in store. Yeah, I mean, I think Martinelli definitely should be playing ahead of Aubameyang.
Martinelli, yes, but I'm sorry, Nketiah isn't at the level required, and I think Begalan just seems to have. It's a bit kind of this kind of, I don't know what's the word I'm trying to think of. Just this, you know, this hard luck story that Arsenal fans seem to fall for because he's not in favour with the manager. Then they all just rally behind him, you know, because they can't be proven wrong. If he's not going to play him, they'll say, well, if he played him, they'd have won. You know, I mean, Nketiah is an okay player, but he isn't to the level that we need. You know,
I agree. I agree. I mean,
is that player? He's just not playing well at the moment, and like that, if he takes some time off, sorts his head out, and comes back, but at the moment, he shouldn't be starting for Arsenal.
I mean, Joe says as well, he doesn't rate Nketiah, he's too weak. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in agreement about Nketiah.
Yeah. Mike says there, the cup final goal where he got injured scoring, that shows the kind of player Laurent was. Yes. He was a good player for Arsenal, Laurent Koscielny.
I mean, like, people don't realise, I mean, the doctors were telling Laurent not to play, and he was saving Arsenal's skin in central defence. Because as much as Mertesacker was a club hero, he had some clangers, you know. He needed Koscielny there, you know. It's like Rob Holding. He needs like a Gabriel, because without someone telling him what to do, Holding stands still and has stood still and cost us goals, you know. So they're the number 2 centre backs, but again, people like Gabriel and Laurent Koscielny were the key man at centre back, commanding what goes on at defence.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like Laurent Koscielny. I thought he was a really good player for us. So obviously, I was going to ask you your man of the match, but you said Callum Chambers, didn't you, today?
Yes, I have said Callum Chambers, and I can go through it again. Like everyone has said, I mean, it's obvious who played well. Lacazette had a great game, and Odegaard had a very, very good game. I was disappointed with Kieran Tierney, but as someone pointed out, he was exposed a lot because of Aubameyang, so perhaps, but still, I thought, I mean, for people are calling out for him to be captain, his error for that free kick was just ridiculous, you know? I mean, he's not facing the ball. He's arguing with someone, you know, away from the ball. No, be all over the ball and have your argument over the ball. That's called being clever, you know? That's what a captain would do, you know? So
no.
He had an off game for me, but let's talk the positives. Callum Chambers came back, redemption song. We had Lacazette, and he was hungry like the wolf. And Odegaard then, you know, is just I mean, my take on or the take on me for Mr. Odegaard, because Norwegian, is that you know, he's an excellent player, and let's sign by him. And if it means selling Aubameyang for the money, let's do that.
Kevin says, what's his program called? Have a go at Uber. I suppose it's turned into that a little bit, unfortunately, but I think we're all just really disappointed with not only today's performance from him, but his attitude on the pitch and his overall.
It's called the fans' view, and the fans are giving their view, and it's my view.
Yeah, no, exactly. And
if Kevin has a dissenting view, that's perfectly fine, and he's entitled to it. But obviously, contrary to that, I mean, me and also people like me that were commenting are entitled to. Because you can have one or two bad games, but he's had a succession of bad games.
No, that's the point. That is the point.
And his attitude, turning up late for the North London derby, for me is a big no. Because that says I'd rather be posting crap on Instagram, which he did do half an hour before the match, than be there for the team getting ready for a North London derby. So I'm sorry, but Aubameyang. You need to sort your head out, get something right. I would make Lacazette the captain for the rest of the year.
Lacazette for captain. I personally would. Bellerin. He wasn't even in the squad today. So
there's the chap now. If PSG want to give us all the money,
exactly. No, I would as well. I think most people would.
Because we've got Cedric, and now we've got Chambers to back him up. So.
Yeah,
I like Bellerin. I'm a fan of Bellerin, but again, he's more suited to continental football. He's not suited to British football. So if PSG want him, and obviously if PSG want him, he is a good player, then sell him and let PSG have him. And we have him.
Yeah, exactly. The money would be useful. Joe says that Odegaard man in the match, he made things happen. Didn't think we'd have got a point if we didn't have him. No, I agree. I thought Odegaard was brilliant.
That is correct. But also, Odegaard is definitely up there with a shout. I suppose I just think why I'm giving it to Callum Chambers is the redemption, Yeah,
I mean, Callum Chambers played well and he was important in two of the goals as well. So, and that helps us to get the point. So I don't think anybody could argue with either of those two be given man of the match. Actually, I think they both played really well.
As people were
and Kevin says, he loves it. The views are much appreciated. No, it is what it's about. It is what it's about.
I mean, if we all agreed, it'd be very boring.
It would indeed. Mike says, if Xhaka turned up late, then we'd have been having a meltdown saying that we don't want him to play for the club again. Totally agree with that, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Totally agree with that.
Absolutely stoned for one mistake. Yeah. He could be great the whole match, but he miskicked that ball in the first 4 minutes.
No, I must admit, I'm a big fan of Granit Xhaka, and I don't.
And I am too, and I'm a fan of Xhaka in more ways than one, but very bold very bold on the Twitter lately. But he's a good guy, and he's the Swiss captain. I mean, Switzerland qualify for World Cups, so people can dismiss the Swiss.
No, I like Granit Xhaka. I do like Granit Xhaka, and I think that he does get a lot of criticism that other players don't get for not away with. And I agree. If that was Xhaka last week, then there would have been meltdown, and people would have been demanding him out of the club.
And Twitter would have exploded.
And it's not right, is it? And I actually would make Granit Xhaka captain personally. I would.
Well, I would. I'd make Granit Xhaka captain in the morning, but of course, because he what did he do? He threw the captain's armband on the ground. Was it after a lot of frustration, given what was posted about his kids during the week about these people that were bullying him? I could understand why, and that's why I'm willing to give him a pass on that, because mitigation, it's a thing about law. So, that's a legal argument, and there's certainly mitigation for why Xhaka did what he did. And I mean, listen, Arteta said, I will give you a chance. Sort your head out, play for me. And
he's done it.
He's done it. Xhaka has repaid in spades.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. He has, and he deserves to be. Maybe a redemption song should be for him. Xhaka alongside Partey have been very good. Mike says that. I totally agree with that. I think they've been a really good partnership there. Terry in the chat there. Hi guys.
Maybe just like Jesse James, maybe he'll be one for Xhaka.
Terry there in the chat says, hi Chaps, we pay a lot of money to watch Arsenal. If the players don't get a rating of 7, they don't get paid, then we wouldn't have to watch rubbish like we did midweek. Well, yeah, that's
okay.
That's
I think there's employment law and things that people are just blindly ignoring there. I mean, you can't just do that. Nobody's going to do that. I mean, do you put a minimum 7 into your work every day? And I'm going to ask people that, really, do they every day? Do you ever have a bad day? Do you have days where you're not on form, where there's external factors impacting on you? I mean, they're humans at the end of the day. It doesn't matter the amount of money they're on. paying someone $500,000 a year doesn't change their, their attitude to work or working environment, because that's only one aspect of your working life is remuneration. I mean, external forces are external forces, and they're going to impact anyone, regardless whether they're earning €1 million or €5 or whatever currency you use over there, sterling or something. Maybe shekels at this stage. I don't know, but it's like people dismiss. Oh, well, if I got 100 million a year, I'd do that. You wouldn't your whole. You do the same thing you do now, except you'd be on 100 million a year. That's the only difference.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's an argument for that. I kind of get Terry's point though that we want players to give a minimum amount of effort during the game, and obviously,
but bosses want their employees to give a minimum amount of effort, but it's not always going to happen because there's forces beyond their control that affects why they don't always have a good game. They're not robots. You can't pre-program to have a minimum of 7. Like, that's bullshit. I've never seen a player who's always given a minimum of 7. Now, people say, oh, well, that guy's Mr. Consistent. Dennis Irwin at Man United, very consistent player, but he did have bad games too. I mean, and he did have periods where he wasn't on the best. I mean, Tony Adams, there's an Arsenal player that had very poor games, excellent games, but he had 1 or 2 stinkers. But people,
of course, yeah.
But because we recognise he's a human, we're all human with our human frailties and our weaknesses. That's part of life, and you can have your 3s and then you can have your 10s. But I mean, to say the minimum you must get is 7 is unfair and unrealistic, I would say.
And plus, that's down to interpretation. Everybody will have everyone gives the players different ratings every game, don't they? So,
sure. I mean, you read the player ratings in the papers, and you're like, were they even watching the match?
I know, I think that, yeah. Joe says he was close to turning the TV off at 35 minutes. Yeah, well, I think we're all close to doing more than just turning it off. Mark in the chat there says this interview spot on, guys, especially on Jack. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, no, exactly.
Cheers, Mark.
And
I like Mark.
Mark says, no, I like Mark as well. He's a good lad. And Mike says he did for a couple of minutes as well, and you can understand why. And Terry says he works for himself. He doesn't get paid, and if he doesn't finish on time, he gets fired. Yeah, but I suppose that's slightly different. And that's. When you work for yourself, that's the problem.
You can also determine when you're working and what you're doing. So there's different constraints. Being a paid employee and that. I mean, and they're contracted employees anyway. So I mean, it is a very different ball game. And
it is a different ball game. I know as fans, though, we want to see the best for our team at every game, don't we? So
I know plenty of self-employed contractors, and they've worked for me, and they haven't really put in much of a job. But then there's others that have been brilliant.
Yeah, no, of course, that's life, isn't it? So it's like, what about giving our money back? Well, I must admit, I went to the 8-2 when we lost at Man United, and Arsenal did give us our money back.
Nobody paid me money this season.
Well, no, I don't think he means this season in general. I think he means in general when they don't play well and we lose and it's a poor performance. I mean, we did get our money back. The Man United game, we lost 8-2.
Are you a fan or are you just going for the win? You have to be there in good times and bad. It's all about, investing in the team, sticking with the team through thick and thin. I mean, like you said, you were there in the 80s. And I mean, things were fairly bleak when you started supporting them right up until, 1989. And then from 91 to 98 wasn't exactly rosy either. Okay, we had the cup double, but not much more than that. And then didn't we finish 14th in the year of the 3 managers?
12th, yeah. That was a poor season. Yeah.
I mean, that's so, we have to be more realistic, I think. I think our expectations are just.
I mean, Mark makes a good point there. For every 8-2, there's a 7-5 or a 5-0. No, there is. And funnily enough, I mean, I was saying yesterday that, a lot of games that you go to, you've got to expect that probably 8 out of 10 of the games are going to be pretty boring, pretty average, and pretty poor.
Exactly.
But the 1 or 2 that you get that are great make up for it. Like today's game, if you'd have been in the ground there, it would have been brilliant when Lacazette's goal went in. It would have been a great celebration, and that kind of makes up for everything else. Kevin said, "Have you ever thought of taking over from Piers Morgan?" Maybe. Well, I'm assuming he means you. I mean, I'm assuming he means.
Okay,
you,
Kevin, I don't insult you now.
No, taking over from him, that's better, isn't it? You're an upgrade. He's saying you're an upgrade.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was saying I was like the I was a Piers Morgan clone. I took that as very
No, he's saying that you should take over for him because you'll be an upgrade on him.
I'm sure me and Susanna on the sofa would be great, like. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure it would.
I'd be chatting up that weather guy. I'd totally be getting his digits.
Terry there said he's been going since Terry Neal home and away. That's when I started going when Terry Neal was there actually as well. So I feel you're kind of
I'm more of a blow-in because '93 was when I started supporting Arsenal. It was in secondary school and everyone had to have a club and I didn't know much about football, but my best friend supported Spurs, my dad supported Liverpool. So what was I going to do? Support the opposite.
Well, you made a good choice anyway, which is the main thing.
Did.
It could have been a lot worse.
Football and George Graham, and then when you fall in love with football and it becomes Arsene Wenger, I think it was wonderful. You know. Yeah,
no, you definitely made a good choice. And I was like, it could have definitely been a lot worse with those two options, especially one of them in particular.
But it's just me being me. You know, if they said black, I said white. So they said Spurs, I said Arsenal.
Well, you did well. I say you could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? Let's be fair. So you didn't come out.
Could you imagine if you were Liverpool waiting 30 years for a title, and it could be another 30 the way they're playing now?
It could be another 30 for us. Yeah, I don't know about anything else, but anyway, let's hope it isn't because I kind of want to see us win the league again.
We went 30 years without one though. We didn't. 71.
No, we haven't gone that long yet, but we're on our way. We're on our way to 30 years if we don't win it soon.
We're not that. I mean,
it's 17,
how many years
17,
has it been?
17, isn't it?
2002. Yeah.
2004, the last one. So that's 17 years. Yeah, it'll be 17 years this year.
That's just over halfway to 30. You know, so there's another 13 years.
No, it's a long way to go, but the way things are going, I can't see.
Well, do you think Arsenal could compete for could compete for the Premier League in the next 13 years? I think we need serious investment to be genuine contenders. We need serious investment.
What happens? We'll see what happens. And Kevin said he was praising you, which I
praise you like I should.
And Ryan says it could be worse. Could be a Man United fan right now. Yeah, because I believe that they get knocked out of the FA Cup, which is quite funny.
Did they get knocked out?
They haven't yet. I think they're still playing. I think they're losing, aren't they, to Leicester? They were. Could have been exactly. Mike says you could have been on the other side of that title win at White Hart Lane. Yeah, you could have been. Yeah, so it could have been a lot worse. So
I'd never be a Spurs fan. Never. No.
Of course not.
That was a non-starter from the off.
They're losing 3-1 now, Ryan. So they were losing 2-1, and they're now losing 3-1. So
that's the best news you've given me all weekend.
Goodbye to Manchester United and the FA Cup. And well played to Leicester. Actually, they're having a good season. It'd be nice for them to maybe win the FA Cup, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't mind Leicester winning it, but I mean, you can't see past Manchester City, you know.
No, you can't. But who knows? One-off game, you never know, do you? But
I love if Leicester. I mean, are Everton still in it?
No, they got knocked out by Manchester City yesterday, didn't they? So.
Oh right, yeah, because that's who I backed to win it when we got knocked out. So there was the curse. But last season, when we signed Arteta, I put money on us to win the FA Cup at 14-1. I just don't know why. I said we're going to win the FA Cup because this will be his trophy, nobody else's. He'll have won all the games, and we turned out and we won it. So I was so happy about that.
Yeah, that was a good bet.
Suffice to say, I've lost twice this season because we're knocked out and now Everton are gone.
Well, you know, it swings and roundabouts, I guess. Terry says there's no chance with Kroenke at the helm. Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with that. And he says it's 3-1.
Well, I mean, because you ask the fans is the American football team. I mean, you know, he's got short hands and deep pockets with them too. So what were we expecting, you know?
No, exactly, yeah. Mike says Leicester or Southampton to win. Yeah, even those
would be good because Southampton are again a side that obviously they knocked us out, but they're a side that play nice football, and you know so I wouldn't mind that.
No, and Ryan says they're the semi-finals: Leicester v Southampton and Chelsea v Man City. Well, there you go.
Well, that's good because that means Chelsea v Man City is a good one, isn't it? Final. Yeah. You know? And one of the absolute scummy money teams has to get knocked out. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. That's
is it going to be Russian oil money or is it going to be Middle Eastern oil money? Who knows?
Well, who knows? Exactly. Exciting times there. And Joe says he wants 3 players from Leicester: Ndidi, Fofana, and Maddison. Well, yeah, they wouldn't be bad, would they?
Well, actually, why did they leave Leicester?
Barnes is good as well. Harvey Barnes. I know he's injured at the moment, but he's a good player as well, isn't he, Harvey Barnes?
That chap from Norwich, I think, is a realistic target. Like I don't see why, if I was playing at Leicester, I'd want to move to Arsenal. You know, I mean, I know we've got wonderful history, etc., but we have to be realistic about this. You know, Norwich they might want to come and play for us, but would a Leicester player want to come and play for us? Because obviously Leicester have the money to pay them more than we do.
Yeah. No. I mean, well, I don't know whether a player from Leicester would play for us. I don't know, but we'll have to see how that works out. I'm hoping we do sign players in the summer, but we'll have to wait.
Well, I mean, 1 or 2. I don't think we can afford more than that.
Probably not.
No.
Well,
and obviously Odegaard as well.
Well, yeah, that's essential, that one. I think we all agree there. Odegaard is who we need. Bissouma as well. Mike says in the chat there, where has he gone? Bissouma would be a good signing for us. Yeah, he would, from Brighton.
Yeah,
Indeed,
no, that's it. Like a player from Brighton, we could definitely attract there. Well, we should.
Exactly, yeah. I like Bissouma. I've always rated him, so he would be a good signing. But let's see what happens, obviously, in the summer. Well, Enda, thanks for coming.
I trust your knowledge and judgment on that. So what you say, I back.
Well, okay, that's good. Let's hope Arteta does as well, the club do, and then we might get somewhere.
Yeah, well, Edu is the guy you have to talk to, isn't it, Edu?
Well, no, it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he watches the show. So if you're out there, Edu, remember Bissouma's the one to sign from Brighton. That's who we need first of all.
It's come straight from Richie, and Richie. Sorry, I have to do this because it's the wrong way. Richie knows his stuff.
Yeah, and anyway, Mike as well.
Great chatting to you, Richard.
Don't forget, it was Mike as well in the chat said it as well. So
Mike. Well, Mike's always right. Wasn't Mike the guy that said things about me? Yeah, it was.
No, that was Kevin. I'm sure Mike thinks good things about you as well.
I'm joking, by the way. Anyway, but great talking to you, Richard.
No, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's been brilliant, and obviously know that you'll be on again at some point as well. I'm sure I have to get you back on again. It's always fun.
And hopefully, I won't be so critical of Aubameyang the next time either. He's packed his bags and we've sold him for millions, or he sorted his head out. But he needs. Yeah, well,
maybe we'll get you on when he scores a hat trick, and then we can say how great he was, and then that'll be better, won't it?
It absolutely will. If he scores a hat trick, I will come on and I will praise him. There you go.
Brilliant. There you go. That's
but it won't be next week. I don't expect to be on anytime soon.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And Mike says you'd be a massive upgrade on Piers Morgan. Well, there you go. Exactly.
You say.
And Ryan says it's full time, so Man United are out. Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. Hopefully they'll be out of the Europa League soon as well, and they'll have nothing left, and we can go on.
Unfortunately, now if I go, I'm going to have to spend the whole evening just texting and tweeting all my Man United friends.
We'll do that. That's fine. I'm sure that'll be entertaining, won't it? Keep everyone entertained.
And now I've got a phone call coming through, so I really got to go.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thanks for coming on, Aaron. It's been a pleasure, and we will speak again very soon. Cheers, mate. Thanks, and see ya. I said that was the end of there, of course. The final guest today. It's been a good show, as Mike says. A great show. Yeah, it was. And as always, good value, isn't he? Entertaining, and he was again today. So I know it seems like a long time ago now, but the game did finish at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Arsenal 3. Of course, Arsenal coming back from 3-0 down to get a draw in the end. A decent performance in the second half, certainly after a terrible start. A bit of a contrast in performance from Arsenal, not unusual this season if we're honest, but we got the win in the end, which was the draw, in the end, which was the main thing. And hopefully now we can push on after this international break. A lot of big games coming up, and we can end the season well. As Shane says, Ender's a great character, always makes me smile. Yeah, no, he is. He's fun, and he was certainly a good guest tonight as well. Obviously, the other guests as well, Albert, who was on earlier, always a pleasure to have Albert on Albert JTV. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel. We had Ryan as well, of course, from the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Please subscribe to his channel as well. And Dave from Out and Out Gunners podcast as well. So please subscribe to all their channels as well. Great guests are always coming on, supporting the show. And then there's a big supporter of the channel as well. So it's always good to get him on as well, to give his entertaining opinions, as we said there. But I say the football finished a 3-3 draw. I suppose before the game we would have been reasonably happy with a draw. At 3-0 down, we would have definitely took a draw. I just feel we could have won that game, and I'm a little bit frustrated, but it was a good game to watch. Mike says, yeah, Albert's a fantastic guy. No, he is. He's a great guy. I love having him on. He's been on your pod as well. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love on here. I've been on to chat to Albert as well. So thanks to everyone for watching the show. There's been some great comments tonight, actually. Shane, obviously, Mike, Terry as well. Joe's been in, Ryan, of course, as well, who was on the show earlier. say Kevin as well. I know we criticised it about me a little bit too much, but he's just frustrating us all at the moment, I think, as well. So, and Mark as well, of course, who was he's obviously a big fan as well. And Kevin said a great show, brilliant Sunday night show. Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We like to try and keep you entertained. I mean, it was a good game today as well, and hopefully you've enjoyed the show as well. Then that means it's been quite an entertaining Sunday for you, which is good. I now need to go and get some food and settle down and waiting for match of the day too, which could be worth watching tonight, I think, with the goals and obviously watching the FA Cup game as well. I've had some good support from Leicester fans on this channel, so I'm quite pleased that they won, and I would like them to win the FA Cup now, which would be quite a nice end to them. And if we win the Europa League, they win the FA Cup, then I think we can all enjoy what would have been a great season in the end, despite all the issues. But anyway, thanks to all you guys for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give it a like as well. This show, it's been a good show actually. I've really enjoyed it. It's always nice to do this after the games. It's a little bit tiring when I do the watch-alongs as well, but it's worth it. And it's even more worth it when you get all the comments coming in from you guys as well. So, I like doing these shows, but there's nothing really without the audience and without you guys taking part as well. So thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for the guys for coming on. I say Albert, Dave, Ryan, and of course Endo at the end there. And say thanks for watching. Please stay tuned to the channel. I'll have a full review video of the game tomorrow. I'll try and get that out at some point, maybe lunchtime, and I will try and actually get a live show this week. I know there's an international break, but I'll try and put a live show together as well at some stage during the week. But I'll put it out on Twitter as well to keep you all informed with all that. So there'll be loads coming up on the channel. So I say please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and give it a like. And I say thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Entertaining game, actually. Really enjoyed it in the end. A little bit frustrated we didn't win, but equally we could have lost 6-0 as well. So I suppose we've got to be pleased with that. But yeah, entertaining stuff. A good show tonight as well, which I enjoyed. So I'll be putting the audio up on Spotify as well. If you'd like to listen to it back, or maybe you missed some of it, it'll be on Spotify later on this evening as well, and other podcast platforms as well via Anchor. So that's where you can find it, but I'll put the links up anyway. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your support of the channel. Stay tuned. I'll say my review video will be out tomorrow, and yeah, it's been brilliant. So thanks for everyone who's been involved tonight. It's been a pleasure. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners! Point today could have been better, but could have been worse. But thanks to you guys for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.